And now, a couple of housekeeping things before we get started this morning. Toby Knapp is my name. Welcome back. I know there wasn't a video on Friday. Honestly, it was just a very busy Friday. And then we had International Women's Day before then. And there was so much stuff going on. And playing catch up was a thing. You know what I mean? And by the time Friday came around, I had to listen to my body and I had to just pull the plug. But don't worry, Wednesdays is going up Thursday. And then we'll get to some other stuff too, because, well, I think I owe you. So later today, you're going to see me live from the couch and it will be a good conversation because I got some toys I forgot I had. You ever clean your house up and find stuff you totally forgot you had? And you're like, how did I forget that I had this? I could have been using this the whole time, but no, I had to go and lose it only to find it again. But now in finding it, it's like, I find God is good, man. God is the greatest. You find things at exactly when you're supposed to. Now, I was going to take some time to be inspirational today, but I'm a little frustrated about what I saw last night. First of all, spoiler alert, Oscars, Oppenheimer. But let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel, whom I love. I love Jimmy Kimmel. I think he's one of the most comedic forces. I've met the man a couple of times, several times. We both worked in Tampa radio together. I can't remember how many times I ran into him at American Music Awards for different reasons. And we have a lot of mutual friends. I think he went too far with Robert Downey Jr.'s the jokes about Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Jr.'s sobriety and his problems in his life last night. And I get he was trying to be funny, you know, and I get that there are jokes, but let me tell you something, man. And this is just real honest. I don't know if you know this or not, but I've given up kind of the booze for a little bit. I'm not saying I quit, not saying I quit forever. I just needed to do something different to get healthy. I needed to remove what I felt might be, upon reason and belief, something that had been causing me some issues. And so I did. And it's not an easy thing to do, to navigate life when you go through what you go through every day, working in an industry where it's glorified to be a certain way, where it's acceptable to be a certain way, where you want to I don't know, where you want to jump in and partake, but you've made a choice not to. That's nobody else's fault, right? It's a decision I came across on my own. Robert Downey Jr.'s stuff is well documented. Like he said when he accepted his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor last night. You know, his wife took in a stray puppy dog and made everything possible. And I can tell you there's something to be said about being taken in by the stray puppy dogs. But man, when you know that you have made a decision to make a change in life that is going to lead to something new, you know, the last thing you want to take is friendly fire. I get it, man. Trust me when I tell you I've cracked jokes on this very thing before. I've made light of it and people and things, and it's been very callous of me to do that. Cheap and easy humor. Not exactly funny. Very serious for some people who have a big time problem with it. And, you know, I thought that I did. And I will tell you that there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about reaching for some sort of a beverage or, you know, but I know this, man, that a lifetime of doing beverages and substances and unmentionable things and whatnot, eventually, thank God that I had blood tests come back, so many of them over the last year and a half or so, that led me to find that, you know what, hey, maybe I don't have this or that, or it could have been worse. But nonetheless, the emotional and psychological and mental toll it takes on you is ridiculous. And you have to think harder and focus faster. And you have to be just fearless at times. And I know there are some people who are like, yeah, blah, 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 cry me a river. You know what? Cry me a river. Cry me a river. You're right. Because I chose to bring it on myself. I chose to bring it on myself then. I chose to let it become what it is now. I chose to do what I did, and I wouldn't change the way that I've done it because it's allowed me to live a very unique and interesting life. And sometimes when you get to a certain point, you know, you're like, you know what? Stop judging me on that. Want to judge me on my worst day? Fine. Be prepared to be judged on yours. And it's not a threat. I mean, I forgive you. I hope Robert Downey Jr. can forgive those, but I think at some point in time, you have to be a little bit understanding about certain things. You know, you got to understand that there's only so much that the human heart has the capacity to take when it comes to being reminded of your flaws or your failings. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what? And here's what I have to say. Anybody wants to question Robert Downey Jr.? um, who are you to question his success? Because it speaks for itself. And at the end of the day, that's what speaks for itself, right? You can question work ethic. You can question whether or not he's consistent. You can question how he got to where he is. You can question what he's overcome. You can whatever. But the last thing you can do is joke about it or hate on it. You can make a couple of cracks here and there. You can rib a little bit. That's fine. But then to constantly go in there for the, one more DDT, one more elbow drop, one more, no, then it becomes cheap and easy. And what disappoints me is that Jimmy Kimmel's better than cheap and easy. What disappoints me even more is that, Jimmy Kimmel forgets the power of the human heart. We've all been through things. We're all going through things that are out of our control. And sometimes you have to get to a point where you admit that you have no control in order to take that control back. So if you've been paying attention, yeah, you notice I said something in this conversation that some people don't know about, that I gave it up for now. Like Chris Stapleton said, I'm in retirement. Not forever. I choose to come out of retirement if I want to. I might. Don't have to right now, though. I'm just a little bummed. I just wanted to see something more smart out of one of my favorite comedians rather than just to go in on a guy who's overcome so many obstacles in life. But then again, you know what? A great coach and mentor said there are 3 ways to shut everybody up. One is to win, edited for content. Number 2 is to win big. Number 3 is don't do some dumb stuff that all everybody ever does is talk about the dumb stuff and not your wins. I will give you that maybe Robert Downey Jr. did some stuff that he might have rethought, but I don't know that he wouldn't have not gone through it because it's made him who it is. It's made him who he is. It's made his career what it is. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So Robert Downey Jr., congratulations. Oppenheimer, Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer. And one last thing. Robert Downey Jr., if you see Scarlett Johansson, let her know she did an incredible job on Saturday Night Live. That was hilarious. I'm sure you'll hear about it all over our iHeart Nation. It's been all over the internet all weekend since SNL happened on Saturday night. Almost said Friday because all the days were together, but that's this whole schedule. My parents named me Toby. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Sorry about the little gap, but you know me. Inconsistently inconsistent, and therein lies my consistency. And what is your consistency today? And will people remember it? Will they?